The You're Gonna Love This or Not podcast contains harsh language and may not be suitable for younger listeners.
Why would you answer this call? Why would you answer this call? Why?
Hello?
Hey, man, what's up? Fuck. Oh, dude, you gonna make it to the Christmas party this week?
Christmas party?
Yeah,
Is it already
Team Geeking
Christmas time?
party. I know. Most people still think it's
Holy
March, but it's
shit.
actually December.
Wow. Is this our yearly Christmas party where we get to get Liz and Tony and Mike all involved too?
Totally. It's a Team Geeking Christmas holiday extravaganza.
Well, I definitely can't miss this. You know I love those guys. So what are you going to subject me to this time?
Well, I'll tell you what is your favorite Christmas movie with James Caan in it that isn't Elf?
Elf?
Nah, this is gonna be it, dude. This is gonna be it. Okay, how about this? This movie was directed by Brett Ratner and Robert Zemeckis' personal assistant.
I don't know who these people are. You do this all the time. You mention random Hollywood names, and I have no idea who they are.
Oh, okay, fine. How about this? Rebecca Gayheart?
I don't know who that is.
Chris Kattan.
He's pretty funny.
Fran Drescher.
Oh, her voice is so annoying.
And James Caan are all killed off in this movie in the first couple of minutes.
Well, I mean, Fran Drescher being killed off is definitely a positive.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Well, you know I'm going to come because everybody else is going to be there, so I guess I'll see you then.
See ya, man.
In the final episode of You're Gonna Love This or Not for 2020, everybody gathers for the Team Geeking holiday movie. Matt and Josh are joined by producer Mike, editor Liz, and Head Geek Tony to watch the 2005 film Santa's Sleigh. In this movie starring Bill Goldberg, after a millennium of spreading Christmas cheer, Santa Claus reverts to his demonic self to give the gift of fear. What does the crew think of this final film of the longest year ever? Let's listen to the trailer and then find out.
Grandpa, I want the truth about Christmas.
If it's the truth you want, then it's the scary truth you're gonna have.
According to the Book of Claus, Santa, Satan's only son, lost a bet and was forced to spread Christmas cheer. But now, all bets are off.
Santa?
Yes, there is a Santa Claus. Ho, ho, hoes.
Santa Claus is not a myth or a legend. He's real. Only he's not bearing gifts and presents anymore.
Christmas can sure scare the dickens out of people.
He's scary yet educational.
I'm just trying to spread a little Yuletide fear.
Are you saying Santa is offing everyone who's naughty and nice?
Nicholas shot him!
You shot Santa?
Run away! Santa's on the loose!
This holiday season,
Ho, ho, ho.
lock your doors, bolt the windows,
Oh, Grandpa got run over by a reindeer.
Everyone stand back. Things are about to get a little messy.
and block the chimney. 'Cause naughty or nice, Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa's Sleigh.
Go ahead, kids. Let's see what Santa got you.
I hate children.
Matt, you son of a bitch.
Oh, come on, man.
Not only did you subject me to this movie, but you subjected the wonderful people that helped make this podcast possible. So you tortured all of us.
Wait, there are other people here than me and Tony and Liz?
I mean, Mike's been being tortured for weeks now, and he's accepted this fate. But to also put Tony and Liz through this, That's just terrible. I mean, they do a great job making us sound halfway intelligent.
I kind of liked it. I don't know what
You
halfway
would.
intelligent, but yeah, this movie is a fun watch.
I don't know if it's fun. It's just it's so bleh.
It's Christmas. Can't say it's bleh.
Yeah, but it's not really Christmas. It's Christmas with killing.
It was one of those films that's so bad it circled its way right back around to good. Or at least enjoyable.
The first time I watched this, I hated the second half. Hated it, and I couldn't find myself hating it that much this time.
It's just dumb.
Yeah, it's dumb. There's some writing that could use some work, but otherwise, it's enjoyable. It's my kind of movie.
I'm sure Bill Goldberg could love. I'm sure Bill Goldberg would love a real line, but you know.
Yeah, well, you mean his little James Bond castaway lines there?
I don't think he said a real line in the whole movie.
No, he just made these little weird quips that have to do with Christmas, but didn't make much sense.
It was very comic book villain.
Yeah, he didn't really talk that much.
Well, he said, "Who's your daddy, Father Christmas?" And I still am quite unclear what he was trying to get across there.
At that time, "Who's your daddy" was a popular phrase. So
I guess
they threw it in there, and he was Santa. Father
I like
Christmas.
puns. I mean, there were some good puns. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I love a good pun. So, I guess we should do formal introductions. So we've got Tony from Indiana Geeking joining us today for our Christmas party, and then of course his lovely wife Liz, who does all the editing for our podcast, which we greatly appreciate.
If Liz wasn't doing the editing, we probably still wouldn't be doing the podcast.
That's a true story.
We would still be doing it. It just wouldn't be going anywhere.
We've got Mike again from the Comic Carnival podcast.
Sorry.
And from our real lives. And then, of course, you've got Matt and I, the craziness of the podcast. So we appreciate you all coming on and doing this with us. We always enjoy the Christmas special.
Why is Josh being all professional? It's creepy.
I don't know. It is pretty weird.
I'm just trying. You know what, guys? Fuck off.
All
of you can all jump in the hellhole in the middle of the ice that Bill Goldberg created to try to kill the Archangel who turned himself into a human.
Okay,
so,
this isn't going to make
spoilers.
sense to anybody until you do your
the
summary.
recap. All right, so we're going to do a recap of this movie real quick.
Right, so wait,
this movie...
What's the name of the movie first?
Santa Slays, maybe?
Very good. Santa's Sleigh.
Santa's Sleigh, which is spelled S-L-A-Y as in murder. So anyways, this movie starts with this rich-ass family being all rich and stuff, talking about all the rich stuff they got and how they're grateful being rich and not poor or Samoan, apparently. That's important. I don't really know why she said that. And so they're being all whatever, and then like Chris Kattan starts like fondling Fran Drescher, who's married to James Caan, and then he like threatens to stab him with a fork or something, and then then all of a sudden like they hear a noise and like the fire goes out, and then Santa comes down from the chimney, and they're all like, "Oh my God, Santa's here!" But he's like a murdery Santa, so like the first thing he does is like stab James Caan in the hands so they can't move. Then he murders everybody in different ways. And he punched the dog at some point, too, which was not cool. Like, leave the dog alone. The dog didn't do anything wrong. And so then he kills everybody, and that's how the movie starts, is with, like, this rich family dying. So they have all these semi-stars to start the movie with, like, some pretty big names, and they kill all them off. And then the rest of the movie is just Bill Goldberg and a bunch of not-so-famous people. And so then the movie starts... And like it starts with these kids, I guess, working in this deli shop for a Jewish guy, and there's like a real Karen in the first part, and like the Jewish deli owner is like Happy Holidays, and she's like, "No, tell me Merry Christmas," which is like super rude and insensitive towards his religion because there's obviously he's Jewish because there's a menorah on the deli counter, and then he's got to starve David Nicholas, so like she's just a real bitch, and so then he like gives them Christmas presents. And like he gives the girl a snow globe, and he gives the guy a clock, but it's a clock that tells time anywhere in the world, which becomes important later. you'll see why. And so like then they leave, and like the girl's totally into the guy, but like the guy's completely oblivious, which I completely understand because I never know when someone's into me either. And so like he tries to like ride a scooter home, but there's too much snow, and then she's like, "Just get in the truck, I'll take you home." She's like, "No." He's trying to be all like manly, "I can ride through the snow." And like finally he like is like, "Okay." So then like he gets in the truck with her, and then like she takes him home, and like then he goes home and like walks in the house, and he can't find his grandpa, and he doesn't know where his grandpa is, and he's like, "Oh my God, where's my grandpa?" And all the while there's a murdery Santa on the loose, and so maybe grandpa was killed by murdery Santa. We don't know yet. And so then like he walks around, and then he goes down to the murder basement, and like it gives this whole like horror story vibe to it. And like he walks down, then like grandpa jumps out and scares him. He's like, "Oh my God, grandpa, why you been acting so weird?" And like grandpa like was being really dodgy, won't really say anything. And he's just like, "We got to be careful right now." And grandpa's got like 7 locks on his door and an alarm system, because that's apparently how you keep out murder Santas. And he's being like really dodgy with everything. And then finally like he tells a story of like what happened with Santa, and about how he beat him in a curling contest, and then it forced Santa to be nice, because apparently there was 2 immaculate conceptions in the world. Once was when Jesus was born, and once is when Santa had sex with the Virgin Erica, which is a lesser known virgin, not Virgin Mary, and it made a Santa, which was an evil Santa, and it killed a bunch of people. Then he beat him in a curling contest later, and it forced him to be nice for a long time, but there's an expiration on that, because that's what you should do. When you make a deal with the devil, you should have an expiration on it, so it doesn't always have to happen. And then then we kind of realize why it's spelled Santa and not Satan, so it's kind of funny that way. And so then anyways, Santa finally comes back, and he's like out for revenge, and so he starts like killing a bunch of people everywhere. And like there's a church they all go to, and come to find out that the pastor's actually really evil and goes to strip clubs and uses the money from the plate to go to strip clubs. And then Santa walks into the strip club and kills a bunch of people, including a bunch of strippers, and then burns the place down. And somehow the pastor escapes, because that's how that works. And so then later, like the pastor's like at the church saying how we need to pray for all these souls. And then Santa walks into the church and kills a bunch of people in the church, including the pastor, who totally deserved it because he was kind of a shitty person. I mean, he was a pastor in a small church driving a G-Wagon, which is like a $100,000 vehicle. So like how no one noticed he was corrupt before that, a little weird about that. Because the church had like maybe 100 members, so like they probably couldn't afford to pay a pastor that kind of salary. So he definitely stealing his own plate. And then Santa keeps going on his rampage of killing people, and then he finally goes to the deli for some reason. We don't really know why. And then he kills the Jewish deli owner, which is like really super shitty, and then runs into a bunch of other Jewish people who like recognize him, and they tell the cops later that it's Santa killing everybody, and like no one really thinks it's true. And the boy, the grandson, tries to tell him about what his grandpa said, but everybody thinks the grandpa's crazy. And so like, "Oh, crazy grandpa, I turn into him like him." He's got kind of a real big like Doc Brown vibe to him, where people think he's kind of crazy, but really he's a genius. And then like later on, Santa comes and finds them, and the grandpa basically like sacrifices himself to save his grandson and his new girlfriend, because like now they realize they're into each other. And so then they're like on the snowmobile, and they're like trying to outrun Santa, who's got a type of ox, I guess, pulling his sleigh. I'm not really sure what that was, but it definitely wasn't a reindeer. And he's throwing like exploding packages at him. And so they go into the woods, and he throws more exploding packages at him. And they run across a skeet shooting field for some reason. And a bunch of people tried to shoot at the Santa Claus, but it doesn't really do anything until like one guy gets a bazooka. But before that, like I think that's when he kills the pastor later, is in when he burns the Christmas tree. I'm not really sure. It's a little fuzzy on all the details on all this stuff, because there was just a lot of murdering, and people just kept dying over and over again. And like they could even like burn the tree, like it was like the really shitty special effects of the tree burning. Like you didn't have enough money just to burn down a tree. Like seriously, that's so dumb. And then so anyway, so they go, and they finally go, like they go back to Grandpa's house, and like they go into this basement lair panic room thing and get hidden inside there. And that's where that happened. And then the whole escape thing happens when the grandpa dies and sacrifices himself. We'll go back to that part now. So it's like running through the field and skeet shooting, and they finally shoot down Santa, and it like blows up and like kills the ox, and like they put him on the front of a truck or something, because that's how you carry around dead ox or something else like that. And so they think they're all safe and everything, because At some point, the grandpa comes back and like stops them from like getting eaten by a Zamboni, and then he gets like shot down a hellhole. But then, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that happens in between. There's a lot of different things that happen, and eventually they end up killing the ox that Santa was having his sleigh pulled by, and like they think they got Santa too. But like at the very end, you see Santa at the airport, but dressed not like Santa anymore, dressed like, I don't know, a biker dude, and then he goes back to the North Pole. And so we're not really sure if he's like forced to being nice again, if he's still evil and he's gonna come back the next year. But then like the guy and the girl, they kiss and stuff, and they're like all best friends, and they're gonna be in love forever. And the dad's okay with his, I guess, the guy who had a bazooka. And so yeah, and like the other grandpa comes back as like an angel at some point, because he's really an angel, and he like only gave up his mortality for some woman, kind of like a City of Angels type shit. So yeah, basically that's the whole movie. A bunch of killing, and nothing really makes sense, and there's a bunch of puns.
Yeah, the best kind of movie.
Yeah. I was really out of order on a lot of that stuff, but it doesn't matter.
That's okay. I just watched Tenet the other day, so it all made sense to me.
Yeah, I've still not seen that. Need to check it out. It's on my list of things.
I'll just watch it on the worst streaming service out there, HBO Max.
Which is the only one that doesn't crash constantly, which is kind of cool.
No, get it? Because he called.
Oh, no, I know. I know. Although it's the most stable streaming service out there, which is kind of funny. Like, it doesn't crash every 5 minutes like some other ones do.
Okay, well, Santa's Sleigh, 2005, Rotten Tomatoes, no critic score, 42% audience score, which on par for this kind of movie. Letterboxd, 2.5 stars, right down the middle. IMDb, 5.3 out of 10, again, right down the middle. And on Amazon, 76% of reviewers gave this movie 5 stars.
What the fuck is wrong with Amazon?
It's not a bad movie. Like, it's a bad movie.
It's not. It's a good movie.
It's an enjoyable watch, especially, a lot of people probably watch this because they're wrestling fans.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I realized something. I was not a wrestling fan. I'm still not a wrestling fan, but the Samoan crack, wasn't there a thing with Goldberg and The Rock?
At some point, but I don't think it was around then. It might have been.
Huh. Anyway,
but yeah, they
when did this movie come out?
2005.
Wow. The graphics still that bad?
It grossed $6,982.
Well, Josh, part of the problem, they might have had the money to burn down the Christmas tree, but it's whether or not they could afford the insurance for burning down the Christmas tree.
That might be true. But they couldn't even afford a decent Christmas tree, and this was supposed to be like the town square with everything happening there.
Well, fair.
I mean, our town square has a bunch of lights streaked from a monument, so...
Yeah, the world's largest Christmas tree, sort of.
Kind of.
Anyhow, movie was directed by David Steinman. This is his only directorial and writing credit. His only other credits are being Brett Ratner's personal assistant and production assistant on some other stuff like Robert Zemeckis movies and that sort of thing. My guess is this movie is kind of a favor. I don't know.
I have a feeling that this guy had some dirt on Ratner and blackmailed him into letting him make a really shitty movie with Goldberg in it. And Goldberg was just like, okay, you can pay me to make a shitty movie because I like money.
Yeah, I was going to say, everybody likes money and everybody likes to be in movies, so I don't see what the issue would be.
If I had to guess, it would be more like Goldberg came to them with this movie that he really wanted to do, and Ratner said, "Well, I don't have time, but my boy here, he will hook you up."
Oh, maybe.
Because how many movies has Goldberg actually done? But he definitely wanted to do them for a while there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, he started off in one of the Universal Soldier movies. Back when he was still in WCW. Bill Goldberg, of course, former WCW and WWE champion.
But I mean, he seems like the type to be shopping around hey, what if I did a Christmas movie?
Maybe.
But I don't know.
It just seems like this is the sort of script that somebody wrote in like high school with some of the jokes that are in it.
Yeah.
And just kept that script around until Brett Ratner was like, "I'll give you some money to make it."
Yeah, it's like the guys in South Park wrote this movie with all the stupid juvenile jokes in it. It was, yeah.
Well, except that when South Park does stupid and juvenile, they're doing it in the cause of satire. And
or they're just really, really funny.
Yeah. And this is not satire.
Yeah, this is not Team America, for sure.
It is definitely not satire, and they definitely... your traditional at the time, I guess.
Juvenile?
No, not just juvenile. I mean, we talked about while we were watching it the Jew jokes, and there were some gay jokes in there. There was lots of puns. I mean, okay, so a lot of the puns for the names and things like that were...
Yes.
Yeah. They were juvenile, but some of them were also gay jokes that were much more acceptable at the time.
Some of it's product of time,
so the strippers were like Bond girl names. I mean, or like Austin Power girl names, like Dixie Wrecked.
I have to admit, I did laugh at that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, lists of names are always funny.
It's like, I mean, like Dixie Normus. I mean, that was the Austin Powers thing. So, at least they didn't make a Christmas comes more than once a year joke.
Thankfully. But, I mean, somebody did just now, so it's fine.
You know I can just permanently mute you the rest of this episode, right?
I was making a James Bond reference.
Yeah. Going with the world is not enough, and that joke was not enough.
No. I mean, it was a bad joke. We were talking about how bad of a joke it was. We were calling it out for being a bad joke.
Yeah.
And I love puns, so when I think a pun is bad, it's really bad.
Anyway, back to Bill Goldberg. He was a huge deal in the late 90s, early 2000s. Came back a couple of years ago as sort of an older guy and was still a big deal in wrestling for a little bit, but has since walked away again. He defeated Hulk Hogan on a Monday Nitro at the sold-out Georgia Dome, which was also the night that I first had a rodeo burger from BK, and it was delicious. You guys remember being able to go to restaurants?
Barely.
Those were the
now restaurants come to me.
Anyhow, he was in Universal Soldier: The Return. That was his big movie start, I guess. I don't think he's ever really hit superstar status or anything, but, you know, he's been in a lot of action movies, that sort of thing. More recently, he's been in The Goldbergs a lot, the aptly named Goldbergs, as Coach Nick. And
he doesn't think it's his show, does he?
I don't know. Could be. It's got his name. Anyhow, he's also on NCIS Los Angeles occasionally as a recurring character. Let's see. We've got Douglas Smith, who plays Nicholas. Right around this time, he was on Big Love. More recently, he's been on Big Little Lies. And even more recently is on a show I do not know called The Alienist Angel of Darkness.
Sure it's not Big the Alienist?
Isn't The Alienist with Dakota Fanning?
I have no idea. I don't know the show.
I haven't seen the show yet, but I've seen about the show, and I think you may be right, Josh. Alienist is not what it sounds like. He's more like a paranormal investigator.
Yeah, but he's been on every episode of that show, apparently, so he's still working. But probably the big breakout from this movie, Emily de Ravine, who went on a couple of years later from this to be Claire on Lost, and then Belle on Once Upon a Time. And, you know, once upon a time, we were able to see each other in person, maskless, and our government wasn't trying to kill us.
Change is coming.
We'll see. Okay, who else we got here? Oh, Robert Culp. Robert Culp was in some Everybody Loves Raymond, but everybody knows him from The Greatest American Hero.
He looked a whole lot less buttoned down in this movie than he did in Greatest American Hero.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And,
the Christopher Lloyd, the Doc Brown Christopher Lloyd vibe, you're very correct about that, Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had the wild hair, everything.
I actually really enjoyed his character in this movie.
There were a couple of lines.
Yeah, it was probably my favorite part of this movie was his character because he had that whole Doc Brown vibe to him, which I really enjoyed. And even with like when he was talking to his grandson, it's very much like when Doc Brown was talking with Marty McFly. So I actually enjoyed that part of this movie. It felt very authentic.
Yes.
Yeah, there were even a couple of lines that as he's saying them, I'm like, he sounds like Christopher Lloyd right here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. He's like a weird Nordic Doc Brown. Yeah, he had that Ooper accent that sort of went Slavic there.
Yeah, hey.
Yep. And this is not his first Christmas slasher movie, weirdly. He was in Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, Better Watch Out.
He was?
Yeah.
Holy crap, I don't remember that.
He plays a cop in it, I believe.
Also, there was part of me that was just waiting for somebody to yell garbage day.
Yeah.
Which is the big line from Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. Which is a thing that we covered on Dramatic Cinematic a long time ago.
Oh.
That movie is so dumb. Man, Josh, you should be glad we didn't make you watch that movie.
We'll get there. We got lots of Christmases ahead of us. I hope. I pray. All right, so Dave Thomas, Canadian comedy legend, plays Pastor Timmons. U.S. audiences know him mostly probably from Grace Under Fire, or comedy nerds know him from SCTV and Strange Brew, and he's pretty good in a pretty great movie called Rat Race.
Yeah, he is.
He's got a really small part that he makes big. It's terrific.
He's good in everything he's in.
And let's see here, joining our two-timer club. We've got the late, great Tiny Lister in this, in sort of a cameo, but yeah. Kind of a bummer. We're recording this the day after he passed away.
So I had a thought at that point in the film, and I tried to continue paying attention.
Okay.
And I thought it was amusing that he made a big deal about him being there and having never seen him before in this obviously very white town.
Yes.
And I don't know if that was on purpose or not.
I think it was. I really do. I think it was. I think it was supposed to be, he's this rough black dude that just does not act like anybody else.
Yeah,
here.
he even makes the comment about how the hood got too rough and he had to leave.
Yeah.
After he got knocked the fuck out, I think that's when they feel like he had to come to a small suburban town so he wouldn't deal with that anymore.
But I have no idea why that scene exists in this movie.
It's almost like there was a setup to something else that never paid off.
Maybe he just got cut out of something else.
Yeah.
But like his character's in there for that scene, has a lot of exposition, and then disappears.
Well, it's like when the movie started, we kept making comparisons to Gremlins. He's kind of like Mr. Futterman in the Gremlins. I think that's where they were setting him up. It's like he's seen some shit, and now he's gone to the small town.
To help in the end, then.
Well. But I think he got excised from the movie.
Yeah, it seems like it. Let's see here. Oh, also another wrestling cameo. Vince Russo, if you're a fan of wrestling in the late 90s, early 2000s, is a patron in the strip club. I believe he's the guy that got electrocuted. But he has
that one did admittedly make me laugh.
It was pretty funny, which is surprising because barely anything else Vince Russo ever did was entertaining at all. That's right. I'll get brutal with him. What's he going to do? Badmouth me on his podcast? Oh, come on.
I do like how we brought up Dave Thomas that nobody mentioned Coneheads.
Oh, but Coneheads is forgettable.
Oh.
But he was only in the movie. He wasn't, part of the skit. So the Saturday Night Live skit is one thing, but the movie, he was just one of the, the big leaders of the planet. Yeah. So he was only in the movie for like less than 5 minutes.
Oh, I did find another movie that David Steinman was involved with that was not Brett Ratner or Robert Zemeckis. He was an editorial PA on Meet the Deedles.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't even know what that is.
The only reason I know what it is because they had a Mighty Mighty Boss Tones song on the soundtrack.
Yeah, it's bad, and I know that I watched it. I cannot remember a single thing about it except for the movie poster.
I remember, like, big, stupid plastic hair.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I remember, and that's it.
Is it from the 80s?
No, like 95, yeah.
But, yeah.
No, 98.
Ugh.
Really? Well, that's the quality direction this movie had.
And it had Paul Walker.
Oh, my God.
Mainly because I couldn't remember what the movie was, so I looked it up.
Paul Walker post Tammy and the T-Rex. Can't have been too long after. Anyhow, what do you guys think of this? Like, talk. I mean, I thought this movie was fine. I thought this movie is one of the better ones that we've watched of this sort of caliber. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with you there. This is, out of the ones I've actually sat and watched with y'all, this is one of the better ones. Like, I can't remember if I said it while we were recording or not. This started weak, and it circled back around, went bad, then circled right back around to kind of funny.
Yeah, well, they built up all that mythology sort of stuff in the beginning, and that actually helps this movie a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like the worst movie we watched by any stretch of the imagination. It wasn't necessarily good. I mean, it had a pretty basic storyline as far as plot goes. I mean, killer Santa on the loose, good guys win. I mean, but at the end we got that twist where he's still alive. I mean, it's
end
very,
I'm not real happy about.
Yeah, I mean, it's very just blah.
Well, I was going to say, they build up all this mythology for the whole first 2/3 of the movie and then just chuck it down the shitter.
It kind of reminds me, if somebody were to explain Gremlins and Rare Exports to somebody that has never seen either, and then that person had to turn around and make a movie, that's kind of what this movie would be.
Sure.
Yeah.
Rare Exports is so good.
I love Rare Exports.
Those were the days.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's a Norwegian Christmas movie about an evil Santa. It's pretty good.
It's a Krampus movie.
I really think you'd like it. Is it really Krampus?
I mean, basically.
Santa. Yeah. But yeah, in that movie, Santa is also evil and has been chained up in a mountain for millennia.
Essentially, it's actually sitting on my stack right now. I need to rewatch it this year.
But yeah, it's pretty good. But there's problems with this movie. I'm not going to deny it. There's like the strip club stuff was not, I don't know, necessary. Like I said, it's the kind of thing like a 7th grader or high school or whatever would just want to put in a movie.
It's in the movie so they could have boobs in a movie, so they could have so they would get guys to show up to the movie. That's all it was.
That's probably true, but I'm guessing by the gross it only ran in one theater.
And it had individual rooms for the people watching. And
Oh, no, there ain't that much boobs in this. Oh, all right. Well, let's see. Oh, notes. Yeah. So the whole
before we go any further, I'm going to jump in real quick.
Okay.
Everybody kept saying, "What is that pulling the sleigh?" That's a bison.
Yeah. Okay.
But it flies, so it's a sky bison. So it's Appa from.
Avatar.
Yeah.
I believe Santa called it a hell deer.
But I mean, everybody was calling it reindeer, and it's like, why?
I don't know, because it's pulling Santa, but Santa clearly called it a hell deer, which I still don't understand why it's,
I have a theory.
Okay.
They hadn't decided what it was going to look like. So it was just this thing, and they kept calling it a reindeer, and then they decided a reindeer wasn't badass enough.
Maybe. But it did eat that guy at the strip club.
It did.
And it didn't move its legs at all while it was flying.
Yeah, it was weird.
Well, I mean, Superman doesn't move his legs when he's flying.
He doesn't flap his arms either.
Exactly.
Then why does everybody think he's a bird?
Well, they also think he's a plane, so.
No, he's Superman.
Okay, they can't tell what he is when he's flying. They can't tell he's Clark Kent when he's not wearing glasses. Everybody in there is just bad eyesight.
Well, yeah. LASIK changed the DC universe forever.
All right, let's see here. Backstory of this whole movie is explained in the opening credits.
As it should be.
If you can read whatever language it is, because they show all the pages and illustrations, but then they go back and explain it again later.
Was that like the thing where if you can speak Icelandic, then, or is it Norwegian? I don't remember.
I thought it was
he just said Nordic.
No, I mean when they're yelling about the dog in the thing. Like, it's the dog, stay away from the dog. I know you've seen this movie, Matt.
I really don't know what you're
The
talking
very
about.
beginning of the movie The Thing.
Oh, The Thing.
Yes.
Okay.
When the dog is running at them.
I thought you were just forgetting what something was called and just saying, you know The Thing. No. Yeah. No, yeah, totally.
Where they're yelling in whatever language it was about the dog being the evil thing, and they should stay away from it. And because they can't understand him, we have an hour and a half long movie instead of 30 seconds.
That's true. Yeah, so we've got Hell Deer, slideshow. The old lady in the beginning is really mean.
Yeah, right?
I don't want to say anti-Semitic.
She seemed like she was there just to,
anti-everything.
Yeah, the Karen at the beginning. Yeah, that was definitely a thing that happened.
I would say that was more of a Clara than a Karen.
It's a proto-Karen.
Yeah, an old Karen, but super mean to everybody in the deli. But then again, Nick exhibited super unprofessional behavior there in the deli. So
I mean, there does come a point where people are such a big dick to you. You're like, you know what? I'm checking out.
That's true. Why is the grandpa/angel a crazy inventor? Because it doesn't seem like he's invented anything worth anything, but still has a house and everything.
Well, I mean, he's an ex-angel, so who knows what he actually did for money.
All the things that didn't make sense in this movie, that wasn't the one that I was questioning.
Oh yeah, well he made
Doc Brown was able to create a time machine and had a bunch of inventions that didn't work. So
even Billy's dad paid the bills.
Well, this guy was trying to invent a Walkman with a old-timey record player.
I actually thought that was kind of cool.
Dude's been on Earth for about 1,000 years. Okay, let's cut him some slack. Okay.
See,
I'm getting creative.
I wasn't real clear on that because he's an angel who gave up his immortality for a woman, but is only his grandfather.
Yeah, so he only did it recently, I guess.
Relatively, yeah.
Yeah, which is strange, but whatever. At least he got on the curling team. Sure. Even though he invented curling 1,000 years ago. It's also weird that it's 1,000 years to the day when we've had all sorts of calendar changes in the last 1,000 years, but that's just me. Let's see, Baby from Satan and the Virgin
Time
Erica.
Is a construct.
What kind of money would you...
wobbly and timey-wimey.
Yeah, what kind of money would you pay to think that Erica is probably the director's ex-girlfriend's name? Because they really put it out there for no reason.
Now that you mention it.
I've only really known one Erica in my life, and she was a pretty terrible human being, so I'm okay with it.
I've known lots of people that are terrible, and they all have different names. And I've known lots of people that are good that all have different names.
One of my favorite people is named Erica. So
I was going to say, I think Mike and I both know an Erica that we will jump to the defense of immediately. So.
Yep.
I'm not saying all Ericas.
This movie takes place in Hell Township.
Not all Ericas.
And we're led to believe it's Hell Township, Michigan, because they use U.S. dollars and everything, but there are 3 or 4 different signs in the movie that indicate that they are, in fact, in Canada.
Maybe Hell just stole their signs from Canada because they were too poor to have their own signs.
I just want to know where Frogtown is.
It's in the middle of a desert.
Well, when's Hell getting there?
I will hop right on finding that out for you.
No, because Hell comes to Frogtown.
Are you trying to preview next spring? Is that what's going on?
Another wrestling tie-in.
Yeah. Oh, that's why you were making a Roddy Piper joke while we were watching the movie. I get it. Anyhow, list of names are always fun. That's about the strippers at the bar. My personal favorite one was Tess Dickler. The name of the gas station that Tiny works at is Eat Here, Get Gas.
There used to be a restaurant that said that on the way to Kokomo from Indy.
Yeah. I'd eat there and get gas there, apparently.
I think my buddy Dave and I did once.
I mean, we've all had White Castle, so.
That's more than gas.
I had an Impossible Burger from White Castle.
Yes, all their burgers do seem impossible.
I had White Castle this week. Hey, remember we could go and sit in a White Castle? That was so cool.
Hey,
yeah, but still inadvisable.
About places that aren't paying us money.
Yeah, that's true. Like all of them.
Maybe if we talk about them enough, they'll pay us money.
Yeah, that's it. White Castle's
Probably
really
not.
going in here because the shitty movie podcast with a bunch of white people talking about them. It's not crowded at all.
You know what? Was it my grandmother used to say, why would you buy the cow when you can get the sex for free?
Wait, what?
Speaking of which.
It's like, what is that? It's like Biff's and like when he tries to make things. Why don't you pick a tree and get out of here?
No, I think she knew exactly what she was saying.
I just wish I could remember the rest of that line, but.
Yeah. Well, just like that, they have a sort of who's on first routine in the police station with the names Cock and Bush. Officer Cock and Officer Bush.
Yeah, and he loves cock, but not a big fan of Bush.
It goes on way too long.
And his name is Dick, so that was funny. I lulled.
Yep.
I think I blocked that out, actually. I'd forgotten all about that. Ugh.
Oh, the emotional scenes in this movie, like at the end, are so...
I was very emotional when the movie was over.
Were you?
No, not really.
Overcome with sadness that it wasn't, 40 minutes longer?
Emotional scenes?
Yeah, like at the end where they're at the hockey rink and they have the nice tender moment there after, Santa has been killed, sort of, we're led to believe, where he's there with Mary and he's telling her, I don't have anybody, and she's like, you've got me, and blah, 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 blah. But immediately they just snap right out of that shit. Like there's no in and out. It's just flopping. I'm not sure how to, it's jarring. How's that? And Goldberg only ever gets to say dumb Christmas themed, I don't want to say puns because they're not. They're just Christmas themed sayings.
To be fair, he had the interaction with the angel towards the end of the film on the front between the across the hockey rink. I think he had a couple of serious lines there, maybe 14 words.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that little give and take. But yeah, the end of this movie falls off a cliff for me. I was
fell down a hellhole.
Yeah, exactly. The hellhole is where it really goes down because they've set up this big curling match for the whole movie, and then all of a sudden they don't use it. And I don't know. After that, it's just disappointing.
Your face is disappointing.
Oh, come on. It's Christmas.
That's why it took me this long to say it.
And I want a new face, Santa.
This Santa would give it to you.
It wouldn't help.
See, that's just needlessly cruel, Josh. When have we ever been cruel to you?
Really?
I am not taking the time to put together a compilation to put in this spot.
I was going to say,
I don't have that type of time.
Inserted here of all the times they were cruel to me unnecessarily when I was trying to be nice. Like at the beginning of the podcast when I was trying to be professional and they were like, this is weird. Why is he doing that? Oh my God.
And then we'll go through all the stuff we've trimmed out of past episodes to show the counterpoint. But anyway, moving on.
I have never said anything inappropriate the entire time we've done this podcast.
Not that's made it to air.
That's true. This is why we have a Liz. She edits out all my ridiculousness. Well, not all.
Remember, I had to get a 4 terabyte hard drive because I saved the recordings of all of these.
You shouldn't do that.
Oh, he's going to slice and dice and blackmail.
If I ever run for office, I'm going to find that 4 terabyte hard drive and destroy it.
But moving on.
Yeah, well, I do, if you guys are up for it, do have a game tonight.
Fucking course you do.
Game's called Ho Ho Hogan. And basically, I'm going to give you
course it is.
The name of a Christmas movie that is real. And you just have to tell me if it has a professional wrestler in a substantial role.
Everybody shut down IMDb.
Yep. No cheating. All right. Who wants to go first?
Not I, said the fly.
Why not? I'll go.
Okay. All right, Tony, your movie.
Wait. Are we going to roll for initiative so we know what order everybody is in?
If you want to.
We'll just make it Tony, Liz, Josh, Mike, or Tony, Liz, Mike, Josh, or I don't know.
I don't care. Just put me in there wherever. That's what I said.
We'll go tribute.
We'll go Tony, Liz, Mike, Josh. Okay. So all you have to do is just tell me whether you think this movie has a professional wrestler in a substantial role. First movie, Tony, The War with Grandpa.
I have no idea what that film is. I've got a 50-50 chance, so I'm going to say no.
You are correct. That is a movie that has recently come out starring Robert De Niro. So good, they put it out in the middle of a pandemic. All right, Liz.
They put out Tenet in the middle of the pandemic.
Right,
so.
Liz next, yeah. Liz, the movie is Santa's Little Helper.
That sounds highly inappropriate.
Well, we're not talking about that one.
Oh, okay. That's a completely different search. I'm going to say yes.
Yes, you would be right. You would be right. It has multiple wrestlers. Santa's Little Helper stars The Miz and Paige.
Wow.
All right. Next up, Mike.
Wait, wasn't Santa's Little Helper the name of the dog in The Simpsons?
Yes.
I believe so, yeah. All right, Mike. The movie is Jingle Jangle.
Oh, that's the new one on Netflix that I haven't seen yet, but I'm going to say yes.
To my knowledge, it does not have a wrestler in a starring role.
Well, it was a shot in the dark.
Yeah, it's a Forrest Whitaker movie.
But that is the new one on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen good things about it, but...
All right. We're to Josh, right? Yeah.
We are.
Okay. The Christmas Chronicles 2.
The Christmas Chronicles 2, they made more than one?
Yep, it's new this year.
Oh, that's the one with Kurt Russell in it. I know what the one that is.
Does it have a wrestler in a substantial role?
I'm going to go with no.
You are correct.
Okay.
All right, so after the first round, it's Tony 1, Liz 1, Mike none, and Josh 1. We keep hitting Mike where it hurts, I guess.
Well, my wrestling knowledge is lax.
All right.
Like I said, I just went off 50-50 chance.
So is mine.
Well, we're back to your 50-50 chance. Tony, we're going to go with the movie Christmas Bounty.
Yarp.
Christmas Bounty is a movie about a bounty hunter at Christmas, which stars The Miz again. So, yes, you are right.
I barely know who The Miz is.
I have no idea who The Miz is.
He makes a ton of shitty movies for WWE. Good
Yeah.
wrestler. All right, Liz, your movie is called Holidate.
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 Sounds like a rom-com, which would lead me towards no, but I'm going to say yes.
Unfortunately, yeah, you went the wrong way. Now, Holidate stars Emma Roberts. And again, that's a new one this year. So, all right, we'll get to Mike, and I know he's going to know this one. The Princess Switch switched again.
The Princess Switch?
Yeah, the Princess Switch switched again. Sorry, do I need to add the colon in there?
No, I'm good. I'm going to say no, but watch it be yes.
The answer is, in fact, no.
Oh, okay. I got a point.
Stars Vanessa Hudgens and is, in fact, new this year. And, all right, Josh, you got to get this to tie Tony. Your movie is everyone's beloved movie sequel, Jingle All the Way 2.
They really made another one?
Exactly.
They
not only made a new one, they made it like 15 years after the first one.
Is it new?
It is not new. I think it came out in like 2000.
I'm going to go with yes.
It has Larry the Cable Guy and a professional wrestler named Santino Marella. So you and Tony tie for the win. Yay!
Yay!
But yeah, the fact that they made a sequel to Jingle All the Way, starring
with Larry the Cable Guy,
makes my heart hurt.
Yeah, I mean that's all. All I have to know about it is Larry the Cable Guy is in it, and I will not watch it.
Yeah, it's I
He's
can't
not
imagine
funny.
how awful that movie is. I'm not going to crap on Larry the Cable Guy, but it's a WWE produced sequel to a beloved Christmas classic, and yeah.
But hey, we got it done.
Oh, stop.
You. All right. Giveaway this week. Still nobody has tweeted the hashtag Ghost Fever that wants the game. So Josh, guess what you're getting for Christmas?
Oh, yay.
I'll just hold it here for you. I got a table that needs a leg propped up. Yeah,
see, I'm surprised we haven't had anybody enter in because we had a whopping 28 downloads of Ghost Fever. So
holy shit, that's like 23 more than I would have guessed. Hey, 23 people that aren't 28 on this
people
podcast.
Downloaded Ghost Fever?
Oh, hold on. Probably a good 5 or 6 of those are me on different devices, though.
Well, comparison, We also had almost 50 for The Last Shark and almost 60 for 47 Meters Down. So, Josh, your insistence on getting out of shark movies killed the podcast.
Oh, my God. You guys were right. We should have done the Christmas shark movie.
No.
That's right, Josh. I found a Christmas-themed shark movie, and I tried to convince them.
Which one was it?
Save it.
Okay.
Don't tell him.
Is it the one that I sent to Matt the other day?
I don't know.
Might have been.
Yeah,
yes, it actually was. It actually was the same movie, yeah.
So, I actually found that about that a couple months ago and sent it to Matt, and he said it was too self-aware for us to watch it in the podcast.
Yep. That's what I told Mike, too, but evidently sharks are equal downloads.
Santa Jaws, or what it's called?
So get ready for 2021. I'm sure I can find 12 fucking terrible shark movies.
No, please don't. Like,
because
seriously,
all shark movies are terrible, and there are tons of them.
Yeah.
Well, except for the original Jaws.
I was going to say, did you just say all shark movies are terrible?
With the exception of Jaws and Jaws 2, which is just mediocre, and
Deep Blue Sea wasn't terrible.
The one with the girl out on the rock in the middle of the little bay where she's surfing, and the shark won't let her go back to shore. That one was pretty good. Gosh, I can't remember what that was.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen that one, but I know what you're talking about.
It's impressive for just one
hey,
girl in a shark movie.
Shark Tale was pretty good.
No, it wasn't.
Hey. I actually didn't mind Deep Blue Sea. I mean, Samuel Jackson's hilarious and everything.
Deep Blue Sea is great.
So.
The Meg was pretty good.
It's great.
I mean, it was dumb, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it was all right. I mean, of the shark movie we watched, that's the only one I'd probably watch again.
I have friends that swear by the Meg, so.
I mean, Jason Statham stabbing a shark in the eye with a knife. I mean, how do you go wrong with that?
Yeah, this is how strong of an opinion that we have on Christmas Slave that we're going to spend 6 minutes talking about shark movies.
Yep.
We do this on every podcast. We talk about other movies on every fucking podcast.
You haven't brought up Miami Connection.
We have now.
We're trying to keep it all positive. But you had to go there, didn't you?
Miami Connection is great, and no one will
I had the opportunity to. We talked about South Park. I could have put up Cannibal Musical. I didn't do that either. So.
And nobody has said the word Trump.
Yeah. Well,
So, is anyone else disappointed they haven't made a Jabberjaw movie?
I mean, a little bit.
What?
I don't think I could handle it for a whole movie.
I guess he was in the end of the film Scoob.
Really?
Really?
The fuck the Jabberjaw movie?
It was so the Scooby-Doo, the Scooby-Doo formula they repeated across a whole bunch of random shit in the 70s and 80s.
Sure.
Where they had like Speed Buggy and just all those little random, group of mystery-solving kids and a random weird object that happens to talk, solve crimes.
You realize that I turned 8 in 90, so not really.
Fine.
I realized that there are whole TV channels devoted to old cartoons.
Jabberjaw was a talking shark that sounded like Curly from the Three Stooges.
Did a Curly impression.
Oh,
it was
cool.
Great. I loved every minute of it, and I think if I had to watch it now, I'd stab myself in the ear.
And he also played drums.
Okay, so, Tony, what kind of rating would you give Santa's Sleigh?
Well, while we were starting this recording, I went ahead and went over to letterboxd.com and put in the rating of 1.5 stars.
Wow.
So, a 3.
Out of 10, yeah.
Like I said, I laughed a few times. It's no Heartbeeps, don't get me wrong.
Fuck off. God.
That's why for Thanksgiving this year we watched a movie about a bloodthirsty turkey drug addict Jesus guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I've seen worse. I've obviously seen better, but yeah, it's not an evening wasted.
Yeah. Fun movie to watch with friends, and that's what this show is all about.
No, this show is all about how can we torture Josh with terrible movies.
That also, but I thought this one would be a good party movie.
I think you were right.
We talked a lot during the movie about what was going on. There were not big long stretches of silence like there were with Murder Turkey.
Or the recording of this episode.
That's true.
We talked a lot.
Yeah, that dead air is going to go away in a snap of a finger and a button on Liz's keyboard.
Yeah. All right. So next person, Liz, how did you rate this movie?
I would probably give it a 3 also. Well,
okay.
Maybe even a 3.5 because
Ooh.
No. So sometimes I watch the movies and sometimes I don't. I'm just editing your discussion about it. But of the movies that I have seen, this is by far the best. Like the ones that I have seen have been awesome.
Yeah, I can handle that.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I mean, there's some stuff in there that wouldn't fly today. But
I was gonna say the gay brother talk.
Yeah.
It wasn't mean-spirited, I don't think, and at the end he turns out to be in the movie. I thought he was just going to be cast aside for a couple of stupid, bad jokes, but he shows up at the end in the gun club and everybody else there. He's not an outcast or anything. He's just a gay gun nut in Hell Township that wears flowers, I think.
But I didn't hate it. I didn't.
And then he makes the most offensive joke, I think, in the whole movie.
I don't remember what that was.
He said, "And the lung."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was just bad. Anyhow.
Yeah.
Back to you.
By far, it was the least bad movie, and I started thinking that it was going to get worse. Like I was waiting for it to get really bad because it almost is too good for the podcast.
Okay, I definitely wouldn't say it's too good for the podcast, but I appreciate it.
In comparison to the really shitty ones I've watched.
I know.
Okay. I'm not saying it was good.
I appreciate you. All right, Mike, what do you think?
I would say I'd actually give it a 4 out of 10. So 2 full stars. So just a little bit better than Tony and Liz liked it, I think. I do agree it was one of the better made movies of the ones that we have seen. Does not make it a better movie, just a better made one. They had budget.
Probably had more of a budget than most movies we've watched. Maybe, not Megalodon, not the Meg budget.
Right.
I thought the effects were Tammy and the T-Rex level, though.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
But on the whole, the hellhole, it was not terrible. It was goofy. It was stupid. But it didn't really have a whole ton of real plot. But honestly, at the end of the day, the plot was only there as an excuse for Goldberg dressed up as Santa to kill people.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was just set up for Santa to murder everyone.
Exactly. And
in entertaining ways.
Exactly. And if you remember that, then the movie works. If you're expecting cinema gold, then, you might as well go watch Blues Brothers 2000.
Wow.
Shots fired.
Wow.
I was about ready to make a joke about the plot being the friends we made along the way, but wow, I'm speechless after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
the Lord works in mysterious ways.
But again, I have long said that Blues Brothers 2000 is not a movie. It is a music delivery vehicle. And as a music delivery vehicle, it works. And in the same way, as a Goldberg killing people dressed up like Santa in stupid shit delivery system, this movie works. So.
Yep. He does kill 2 people in the same way, though. Right in a row at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Was it James Caan and the punk in the street?
Oh yeah. What was the
pencil?
Yeah, where basically it's where the pencil trick from Batman came from. Yeah.
Yep. Except with James Caan, it's a chicken leg.
Yeah, that's more like Killer Joe,
turkey.
but
turkey leg.
Oh, turkey leg. Okay.
By the way, I'd like to point out that Blues
turkey.
Brothers came out on June 20th, 1980. Blues Brothers 2000 came out February 6th, 1998, so it's about time for the third.
It's like 4 years overdue.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't wait to just be disappointed in it.
Yeah, they call it Blues Brothers 3000.
Except that all of the blues legends that they were celebrating in the first two movies have kind of passed at this point.
Well, what did I just say?
Right?
What did I just say? Blues Brothers Afterlife.
I would say half the Blues Brothers band had gone too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Belushi's dead.
Well, Belushi died before Blues Brothers 2000. I mean, long before.
Yeah, they just brought in
3 people to replace him, and none of them could.
Yeah. John Goodman, Joe Morton, and a kid.
All right. Well, Josh, what would you rate this movie out of 10?
All right. So this is going to come to shock to everybody, but I agree with Mike. I would give this movie a 4. Like, it didn't start out well. It started with Fran Drescher, which I'm not a big fan of. Her voice really annoys me.
I like Fran Drescher.
I know, but I just like her voice. It's an audio thing for me. And her voice just kind of grates on me. But her being murdered in the first part, I mean, in the whole movie, it's a cheap action flick. I mean, it's got some puns, which I love puns, and I think they're fun, and they were dumb, but that's what I love about puns. I mean, it had a decent storyline. It followed it well. You got the crazy grandpa that's very Doc Brownish, which I appreciate that homage to that. And it's got an underlying love story that was okay. I mean, cheesy, but that's kind of how it is. I mean, it's a movie that I would watch again, that I would show other people. And not because I hate them, but because I think it would be funny for them to watch. It's just a cheesy Christmas movie. I mean, it's
Josh's heart grew 3 sizes today.
I mean, it's no Elf or Jim Carrey Grinch or Muppet's Christmas Carol Christmas level quality, but yeah, I mean, and for me, it's on par with things like The Christmas Story. Like, yeah, I'll watch it, but it's played out. I've watched it too many times. So,
Daddy's gonna kill Ralphie.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they show that movie so many times every year, and like it was good the first couple times, but now it's just a standard that's just there. I mean, it's okay. I mean, I didn't hate it, and I mean, so.
Well, there you have it. Josh didn't hate it, and that's good enough for me. I also would give this movie a 4. So I think, based on what everybody's saying, everybody here would recommend this movie, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd recommend it, but if someone was like,
tell other people,
do you know a good Christmas movie that's kind of bad that you want to watch, that's action-packed, I'd be like, yeah, let's watch this movie.
When all this shit is over and friends are able to get together to enjoy movies again together, this is a good, let's have some drinks, let's have some food, and let's just all bag on a movie together.
This would go on a Christmas movie stack with like Krampus and Rare Export. And, Yeah,
I mean, to me, it's the same caliber as the movies like that, where Krampus was fun, but it's just a killer movie. I mean, it's definitely better than Santa with Muscles. I mean, fuck.
You are not wrong. You are not wrong.
Yeah, this is a great watch this with friends and shit on it movie, and everybody's gonna enjoy themselves. So. Yeah, that's the first time I think that's happened. So, yay!
It's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah. All right. So, any recommendations, plugs, anything from everybody?
Well, now I'm just waiting for the horse to run in so we can all go, miracle!
Yeah. If you haven't seen Schitt's Creek yet, you need to watch Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek is pretty good.
One of the most heartwarming shows out there. The relationship between David and Patrick might be the most perfect relationship ever built.
And I will watch just about anything with Chris Elliott in it.
Oh yeah, Chris Elliott's great.
I recently got a copy of Cabin Boy.
Anybody else have anything to plug? Would they recommend something for the holiday season?
Mike, you got anything?
Nothing new. Just watch Mandalorian because I know you need me to tell you that.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baby Gogurt.
It's Grogu.
And
yesterday, right?
As we're recording this, yesterday Disney announced a whole crap ton of stuff.
Oh, fuck ton of stuff. I'm pretty excited
and all of it sounds like it's going to be awesome.
Patty Jenkins doing Rogue Squadron gave me tears.
That video of her
Christian coming back as Darth Vader. I mean, come on.
That took me by surprise.
Yeah, the Patty Jenkins video where they announced Rogue Squadron, I was not prepared. That made me happy.
Yep.
But yes, they announced a whole shit ton of stuff, and none of that will be on our podcast.
No, it all looks pretty good.
Liz, you got anything?
At some point soon, I'll be shaking off the depression of 2020 and getting started on social sci-fi again.
Yay.
I don't know. I'm trying.
So I would just like to remind everybody to please wear your masks over your mouth and nose. And by the time this comes out, it's going to be too late to order shit online. So please support local businesses holiday. They're hurting.
True story.
Keep your face stick in its pants.
Wow.
That's going to get reused.
Oh, wow. Keep your face stick in its pants. I've been trying to think of a good way to say something like that since we've been locked up, but no, that works for me. I'm using it. All right. Well, the only thing I'm grooving on this Christmas, other than, being here with my awesome family and kid, I've been listening to Dottie Freyer more. Totally not my kind of music. I'll listen to anything he puts out right now. And he's got a Christmas song out that has just a trippy video that's fun to watch. So check out Every Moment is Christmas with You. You can look it up on YouTube or whatever. But yeah, Dottie Freyer, pretty funny guy, makes good music.
Cool.
All right. Is this anybody have anything else to say?
I think that's it. I'd like to thank everybody for listening and hope you all have a happy holiday season. I don't know when this is coming out, but
it will be out on the 18th.
18th, yeah.
Awesome. Well,
and God bless us, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I really do appreciate everybody listening and supporting us and allowing us to do this thing, and to both Tony and Liz for always being there to edit and help out and host everything, and Mike for always being our guest, even though he doesn't know he's our guest most of the time. I kind of surprise him with it.
I don't really know what's going on in most aspects of my life at this point, so
I love having you on, man.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, it's a third perspective, so it gives me some backup when Matt
well,
gets outrageous.
And I can do things like pull Saul Rubinek's name out of the air, so.
That's true. Oh, I didn't talk about him, but yeah.
You know all the names of the people and all the different stuff that Matt likes to ramble on about that I have no idea what he's talking about. So.
Oh, yeah, like Brett Ratner. Nobody knows who that is. Or Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah, I mean, you know all those obscure facts that I don't know about, so it keeps Matt.
You don't know who Zemeckis is?
I don't know these
names. Zemeckis, you should know. He made A Christmas Carol.
I thought he did the Rubik's Cube. That's why it was like a Rubik's Cube that they threw in Ready Player One.
Yeah, I'm not really good with names, guys. I've had this conversation like 12 times today. So yeah, I'm not good with names. I don't, unless they're like really A-list actors. I forget their names. I remember their characters more than anything else.
Well, I thought I would bring you in with Rebecca Gayheart, Chris Kattan, Fran Drescher, and James Caan, but they all get knocked off in the first couple of minutes of the movie.
You know, James Caan was the dad in Elf, and Fran Drescher is Fran Drescher, and
I love you guys.
Rebecca Gayheart.
Have a happy holiday season.
Was it Earth 2?
Oh, Zemeckis at Polar Express. That's right. He's good at
I am going to mute y'all.
Did we just lose Josh when he said, I love you guys? Is he gone? For real?
What?
Oh, there you are. I thought you disappeared.
No.
No, we actually had a successful
episode.
Out
for a minute. You dropped out for a minute, so yeah. All right.
I don't know.
I guess the real friends were the puns we made along the way or something.
Oh. No. Well, I love you guys. Have a happy holiday. I miss you.
Bye, guys.
Hey, we've just about made it through 2020. Take it easy, everyone.
Just a few days left.
And then only 20 more after that.
God bless us, everyone.
Days.
This episode of You're Gonna Love This or Not was recorded at the SFP Studios located off beautiful Eagle Creek Reservoir in Indianapolis, Indiana. It features Matt dragging Josh down into the dark depths of his movie collection and is released monthly on the Team Geeking family of podcasts. It is produced by Mike Wycliffe, edited by Liz Shunn and Tony Troxel, and features music by Scott Holmes, who can be found on the Free Music Archive. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or the podcatcher of your choice. And please leave us a rating and review. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.